So most golfers get this wrong, and I believe truly don't understand how we move the wrists like tall players in the golf swing. What I want to do today is give you some simple ways of thinking about how we can improve the wrist action through the golf swing. So for me, we need, as the club comes down, this club to be in a strong position, so pretty much parallel to the spine, and I need this right hand to be facing towards the ground. And it needs to be what we call extended or set back like this. The lead hand will be what we call flexed or bowed. So when we get to contact, an interesting concept you can have is trying to get the palm of this hand to face the sky. And if we do that, the right hand faces the floor. And if we do that, the knuckles face the ground. And achieving those wrist positions, and I'll come in a bit closer, creates a much more de-lofted club head. If we add a little bit of rotation, both with the body and the arm and the wrist, that club face then lines up to be square with our target. So that's how we stop the ball going right, but we create a much stronger impact. So you could argue, do you generate more speed doing this, or do you create more dynamic, what we call spin loft, doing it the other way? And the best players in the world are nearly all in this kind of position at contact because they can control the club face and control the low point far more than throwing the hands this way. When we throw the hands this way, we get a lot of thin strikes, fat strikes, but we also increase the loft a lot. So, and also if it really overtakes, the loft will point more to the left and the club face will point more to the left, which creates hook shots. For the slicers of this world, you might say, well, I'm quite happy to hook the ball. I can understand that. What I'd like you to feel today from this video is that we start to feel that we get the wrists into this kind of position at contact, knowing full well that this angle is decreasing all the way through that contact zone and lining up about here. So we are getting that club head overtake, we are getting that throw if you like, but we're trying to get the throw later than the average amateur golfer. The key things we're talking about today then is trying to feel like the right wrist was pointing down as if you're going to throw a ball kind of low. And if I just go ahead and do that, if I go and throw a ball low, that's the kind of the way the right wrist wants to work. The lead wrist, palm faces up to the sky, as we said, knuckles to the ground, and then we snap it. Then we feel like the wrist goes into that extension and folds up and in and round. So we want to feel it's forward, released. So there is a constant unloading of the wrists, but I would urge you never to think about trying to unload the wrists. Based on what I've already told you, that I don't see golfers unloading the wrists too late. What we have is centrifugal force and gravity all wanting to do this. So even if we tried to hold on to this angle, again, which is not something I would recommend, I'd probably more concentrate on, can I turn the right forearm down, like Pete Cowen talks about? Can I turn the left wrist down and forward? And try and think about throwing the club after the ball, post-impact, towards target or towards the sky. Because then we're not thinking about at the ball, and that's not unloading the wrist too early. So what I'd encourage you to do initially is hit some small shots, trying to feel that your wrist points up to the sky or knuckles to the ground. And that there is just a beautifully pressured golf shot with a big meaty divot. So I'll try and make sure you see that divot, but it's a big meaty divot. And the divot is after the golf ball, so that's creating the right pressure and that's the right feel. Once we get that feel of creating that kind of wrist conditions through impact and then letting it go after impact, that's exactly what I want you to do. So maybe what we'll do in the next shot is just increase the swing length a touch and start to increase the rotation and extension of the body as we go through and the extension of that lead wrist. So that flicking of that lead wrist. So we'll try and still feel we get the same impact. And that was a beautiful strike. Slight push, but again, really good divot control, really good pressure on the golf ball. And it's got a long way for what I feel is a slower, shorter swing than normal. So what I'd like you to do is live there for a little bit. So kind of have 10 balls where you take the meaty divot, 10 balls where you try and add a little bit of extension with the wrists and add some extension and rotation with the body. Then go into your full swing, Trying to feel you going through the same movements, but try and feel it's more of a fuller motion. And for me, that's the way to get a better wrist action and a better control on your golf ball with better contact and longer shots.